Hey YouTube, out here at the goat pasture again. Wanted to go over a question that came up in the comments a little while back in reference to how I secured the lease for these goats on this land that I'm on. So I was just going to go through and kind of outline how that process worked out for me. Uh, the first thing was reading this No Risk Ranching book by Judy. And a few other books that were similar to it. Lots of rotational grazing books, obviously, but this one in particular, in reference to leasing land, it's got a lot of kind of different ideas about how to graze livestock and how to get on land and whatnot. But some really good ideas in here that if anybody who's struggling to get on the land and graze livestock, you really need to read this book. It'll help you a lot. So after reading that book, for me, it really made me realize that there was an unused resource in my area. In the book, Judy, he talks about finding vacant land that nobody's using, nobody wants for anything. And in my area, I didn't find that to be very true. It seemed like everything had something or somebody already on it, and so I had to kind of go one step further and recognize the resource on the land that wasn't being used. And for me, I realized that was the brush. That in our area there's enough of it that you can do something with it, but nobody really was doing it. They're running cows in this part of the world primarily, and not very many goats, or at least not on a large scale basis here in north central Texas. And so I realized that was the unused resource. And then after I realized that, I just looked around in my neighborhood trying to find big parcels of land that were nearby to me that would make sense to try to run goats on. So eventually, I kind of figured out, where this piece of land was that I was kind of interested in, and that was the next step was the appraiser's website. At least for here, and I think almost every county in the country has an appraisal website where, for their county, the ownership of all the land, the different parcels, the boundary lines, the property lines, all that information is on a website. And I'm not sure what it should be for everybody out there, but I Googled long enough to find my county's appraisal website. And when you get on there, then you can search by people's names. You can, get on a map and search an area and pull up, a number that corresponds to a parcel of land, and then search that number and figure out who owns it. So once I did that for this parcel of land that I was interested in, I figured out who the owner was, and then I had to research further to find out some contact information for that person, a telephone number or an address, a business, place of business, etc. So then once I did that, I was able to contact them and make them aware of what I was interested in doing. And when I did that, I was fortunate enough that they were receptive to doing that. And so I talked to them about it further and a little more in detail of how I wanted to do it. And eventually, I was, coordinated or cooperated with the cowman that had the existing lease to put goats on here. And so that was essentially the process to get there. I don't have a actual lease. I have an agreement with the cowman who has the place leased. So essentially a sublease. I'm underneath him, and so I have to cooperate with him and get things done with him. But that was a process for me to get on this land, and it's been really good for me to get this experience and essentially learn a whole skill set of how to graze these goats that I knew nothing about before I started, or shortly before I started, before doing any kind of research on the subject. So that's my story for getting on the land, the steps I took to get that happening for myself. So hope that helps somebody. As always, I sure do like making these videos. If you would, please like and subscribe. It sure helps to get these videos pushed out to more people, and I've got a bigger subscriber base and more people liking these videos. YouTube will recommend these videos to more people, and so more people can watch and hopefully get something out of them. So if you do that for me, I sure would appreciate it. Looking forward to the next video. Hope everybody's having a great day out there. Sure am enjoying the spring weather here. We finally got some buds coming out. It's March, I don't know, 11th or 12th or something. It's greening up. We got some winter grass out here, and excited for spring to go ahead and kick in and have some good grazing out there. And we're about, less than 10 days away from the start of kidding. So that'll be a whole interesting deal that we'll make some videos on and share that with you guys. So looking forward to it. Talk to you later. Bye now.